In a world marked by conflict, some tragedies fade into the shadows, hidden from the prying eyes of the international community and buried beneath the headlines of late night news. There lies a dark chapter of history that remains largely unknown. Welcome to the heart of Africa, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a land endowed with breathtaking beauty and abundant resources. But beneath this rich forest and its majestic river, a dramatic tragedy is unfolding. My name is Yakil. I am a co-founding member of the Congolese Action Youth Platform, CAYP or CAYP, and this is Genocost, a Congolese genocide. We will take you on a journey with the founders of the movement that cast light on a dark, forgotten corner of humanity, where the cost of genocide was paid in blood, tears, and shattered dreams. For years, we have closed our eyes to the fate of the Congolese people, while the world reveled in the riches drawn from this land. A genocide was taking place in silence. This documentary will briefly explore the true cost of our complicity. Equally important is understanding how a group of young Congolese living in the United Kingdom took action and launched the Genocost campaign in 2013. From the era of colonial domination to the present day, Congo has endured a cycle of violence, exploitation, and greed. Tracing the origins of this genocide and revealing the power dynamics and vested interests that perpetuate the suffering of an entire nation is a monumental task for this project. Our limited budget does not allow us to do it fully. However, we have gathered poignant testimonies from survivors, courageous journalists, and dedicated human rights activists so that we can expose the atrocities committed against innocent men, women, and children. But this documentary is not a story of despair, no. It is a call to action. Each one of us, together, we have the power to make a difference. We shine a spotlight on these grassroots movements, CAYP, and other organizations working tirelessly to bring justice and hope to the Congolese people. In the face of unbelievable suffering, the Congolese people have shown remarkable resilience and strength. It is time for the world to stand in solidarity with them and demand an end to this genocide. Prepare yourself to witness a story that will move you deeply, challenge your assumptions, and awaken your sense of justice. Silence is no longer an option. Join us on this journey to discover the untold story of Genocost, a Congolese genocide.
Yeah, so as with everything, there's a lot of things that happened before to give birth to what we now have, Genocost and with the organization behind it, the Congolese Action Youth Platform. It started when a lot of us were actually young and less grey.
For me, being a CAYP, just like you say, something, if you have to go back to 2011, how I stumbled into it, because let's face it, just like you, I stumbled into it. Other people created the movement before me, like the likes of Natasha, Francos, Vava Tampa, were the ones that created CAYP. Actually, now that I think about it, I believe Faith was the person who invited me to my first ever meeting of the CAYP. I met her at a protest outside central London. And she said, come to this meeting on Thursday. There's quite a few of us that are going to be there. And so I went, and that's kind of how I got introduced to the CAYP.
There was a mass protest with the election coming up and the election results going against the people of Congo. And then we saw loads of protests taking place, primarily in London. And then we saw it in other parts of the world where Congolese are, so obviously France, Belgium, other parts of the world, even Japan, we saw images of people protesting in Japan. But the problem with the protest is it brought together different groups of people within a Congolese community. Mama, the children, the young people who were about 15 onwards, and then you had a core group of people who were involved in campaigning against occupation, what we call combattants. So these are older men who were generated a certain age within their sort of late 40s. So you have all these groups of people coming together. And one group that dominated was the young people, and they would play music, they were dancing, and then the older people were singing You had TGs, when we say in Rwanda, so you had people who supported the opposition, and their main aim was to say, we want him to win election. And then you have people who were against the war in the Congo, people who were campaigning women's rights and various other issues. People were dancing in the street, they were singing all kinds of songs, and they were singing Lingala. So there was no coordination with the protest. So the idea was to say, we need to bring together young people, and we need to have a coordination.
But the reason why I say I found chaos there is because there's so much energy, there's so much grief, so much pain, so much anger, and so much frustration because their voice is not being heard.
So a march had happened outside Downing Street as usual, and it was chaos. It was organized by, and it wasn't chaos because of the organizers, but it was organized by the combattants and some young people who brought us all together. And it was chaos for me because quite a few people got arrested. And for some professions, you just can't get arrested. So I remember feeling like, oh my God, this is not really good. We don't want, sometimes arrests can happen, but we don't really want to jeopardize people's futures or whatever, the criminal records. We don't know what people's backgrounds are like. So I remember calling a meeting or just frantically contacting everybody I knew. And we ended up meeting, I think, in Wimbledon somewhere. And I remember contacting Fabrice Kabamba, who's the person who gave us that hall. And I think that might have been the first time I ever met Sylvestre. And yeah, I just remember Francos was there, people from Save the Congo were there. I don't know if you were there in Wimbledon. Yes, I just remember there just being this already, the momentum was going, but at that point, there was just something about that moment where the momentum was at an all-time high, and we just knew that there was something we need to do. We can't keep meeting on the streets with no vision, with no plan, with nothing. Just meeting, making noise, disrupting traffic is not good enough. We really need to work towards something. So I think that's the meeting for me that really stood out.
To help you grasp the concept of Genocost, let me tell you what Genocost means. Genocost merges two critical concepts, genocide and cost. This blend underscores the tragic exploitation of the Congolese population for economic benefit. Why categorize this tragedy as genocide? By international standards, genocide involves deliberate acts aimed at eradicating a group. In Eastern Congo, systematic atrocities like displacement of children, mass killings, and rape were perpetrated to secure valuable minerals, fitting this grim classification. Focusing on the economic facet, the Congolese genocide was largely fueled by the battle over precious minerals. While many reports highlight ethnic conflicts, the real story lies in the intense scramble for resources like gold, cobalt, and coltan.
C'était pour qu'on puisse créer un mot qui pourrait non seulement décrire ce qui se passe au Congo, mais aussi décrire la cause de la situation.
So that it doesn't only describe what's happening in Congo, but it also describes the actual reasons behind it.
La première part, géno, c'est court pour génocide.
So Geno is short for genocide.
Et la raison pour laquelle on voulait utiliser ce mot, c'est parce que c'est un mot qui n'est souvent évité sur la scène politique.
And the reason why we specifically chose this word is because often in political realms, this word is actually avoided.
Car qui dit génocide dit qu'il y a des coupables qu'il faut persécuter.
So when you hear genocide, then it means that there are people who need to be prosecuted.
Alors on préfère le terme conflit ethnique,
So people prefer the term ethnic conflicts
on préfère le terme tragédie humaine,
or human tragedy,
on préfère même le terme de guerre.
or even conflict war.
On appelle ça tout sauf ce que c'est.
So it is called everything but what it actually is.
Ce que c'est une élimination systématique d'une population.
What it actually is
Et quand vous regardez au terme utilisé pour l'élimination systématique de la partie ou d'une population entière, le mot est génocide.
So when we look at the word that should be used for a systematic elimination of a population, that word is genocide.
Alors, la deuxième partie du mot Genocost, le cost ici, c'est pas le cost de l'Holocauste.
So the cost part of this word isn't similar to the cost in Holocaust.
Le cost de l'Holocauste vient du grec cost qui veut dire brûler,
The cost comes from Greek, which is
from the Holocaust.
oh.
Le cost de l'Holocauste, which means burn.
Oh, okay. So the cost from Holocaust is from the Greek term burning.
Mais le cost que nous avons ici, c'est de l'anglais, pur et simple.
However, this cost is simply English.
Et la raison pour laquelle nous utilisons le cost, c'est parce qu'on veut montrer qu'il y a une route économique à notre conflit.
So the reason why we put cost here is because we want to show that there's an economic part of our genocide.
On ne tue pas des Congolais parce qu'on ne les aime pas.
The reason why Congolese people are being killed is not simply because they're not lying,
Une tuerie sans raison.
and this is not going on for no reason.
Il y a une industrie qui a commencé et qui continue le conflit au Congo.
So there's an industry that started and it continues to perpetuate the conflict in Congo.
Et c'est pour cela, pour montrer que c'est un génocide avec des racines ou une base économique, nous avons utilisé ce mot Genocost.
So we've used this word in order to show that it's a genocide which has its roots in economics.
Genocost came about during one of those meetings. Actually, it was me and another member of CAYP. We were just us two were talking, and he mentioned that we were talking about the struggles of Congo and how can we make a change. So one of the ways he said is that we need to we're actually looking at other members of society, other groups of people, and how they honored the people that have passed away. And we realized that in Congo or in our community, we don't even have that. So we said, okay, so how about we start honoring people that we've lost throughout the many, many years throughout Congo's history. So initially that conversation started between me and this gentleman. And we attended the CAYP meetings, we presented the idea to the rest of the young people, and everybody embraced it, and that's how the idea came about.
The 2nd of August was chosen as the day to commemorate Genocost because it marks the official start of the Second Congo War in 1998. Jean-Jacques Bondo, an expert on military and security strategies in the Great Lakes region, agrees and explains it.
La guerre qu'on appelle la deuxième guerre d'agression, 2 août 1998. La date est symbolique, mais cette opération, il y a eu 2 opérations. La première, le RCD a attaqué Goma, et de l'autre côté, il y a eu un pont aérien qui a quitté Goma vers Kitona, je pense, ou Banzangungu, dans le bas Congo, pour aller prendre Kinshasa en tenaille, parce qu'ils avaient des éléments infiltrés via leur technique. C'est-à-dire que cette date peut être symbolique dans le sens que c'est une opération qui touche pas seulement l'Est du Congo, mais c'est une opération qui touche aussi l'Ouest. Donc ça montre que l'agression, ce n'est pas par rapport au Kivu seulement pour dire que vous avez trouvé une date qui concerne le Kivu, mais c'est une date qui concerne l'Ouest aussi parce qu'ils sont allés, c'est là qu'ils ont coupé le courant à Inga par exemple. Et depuis qu'on a des délestages et consorts.
On the 2nd of August 1998, while Kinshasa was gripped by exceptional tensions following the refusal to repatriate some Rwandan soldiers, Kerwin Mayizo, a presenter at the private radio station Raga FM, spent the night at the station under curfew, broadcasting only music and relaying international news without intervening on air. Near the radio station, Rwandan soldiers attacked army barracks and fought the Congolese army. Confined with his colleagues in precarious conditions, Kerwin Mayizo awaited instructions until the roadblock was lifted, only to discover the extent of the insecurity in the city of Kinshasa.
once we decide that we will call what is happening in Congo genocide and we will call this war an ongoing war, once we have determined as a people what is happening to us, everybody else that wants to deal with us has to follow. And trust me, everybody wants to deal with us because everybody needs us.
But what's really important about the word genocide is that Hitler, when he was killing Jewish people, it wasn't a two sides. There wasn't a war going on between Jewish people and Nazi Germany. It was pure genocide. In other words, you're rounding up people and you're killing them. So what we're saying with the word genocide in Congo is that this isn't a war going on. This isn't two groups of people fighting and one is losing, one is winning. This is about armies invading Congo, rounding up ordinary Congolese people and killing them as a way to make space for the minerals or as a way to terrorize the people or what have you. So in other words, this isn't a war where there's two sides. This is a war where unarmed ordinary Congolese are being killed, rounded up, and this is something that we have to recognize because the media was presenting it as ethnic war and what have you, because this is not our voice, and we're saying, no, this is not a war going on, it's genocide. This isn't about Tutsis and Hutus fighting each other in Congo. This is about genocide. This is about a war for mineral. This is about a war for plundering Congo. So this is why I think it's really important that we did what we did, and so it's hopefully we'll keep doing it. But the whole event itself is about making a statement, and that statement, hopefully we're going to keep making those statements.
For years, the story of Congo was treated as a distant African tragedy, ignored by global media, misunderstood by policymakers, and buried beneath the language of conflict. But through the work of the Genocost campaign, a new conversation began to emerge. What CAYP started in the United Kingdom soon crossed borders, reaching activists, scholars, politicians, and members of the Congolese diaspora across Europe and beyond. CAYP was able to challenge international silence, influence public discourse, and push the word to confront the human cost beyond Congo's endless war. And nowhere was that expansion more visible than in France, where a new generation of activists carried the message forward through France and beyond.
Ma première rencontre avec CAYP a eu lieu en 2016, où j'ai eu la chance de participer à la commémoration Genocost à Londres. Je recherchais un groupe de jeunes, je voulais être active pour ma communauté, mais je ne savais pas comment y intégrer. Et par le contact d'un des fondateurs, d'ailleurs qui s'appelle Genocost, il nous avait mis en contact donc avec CAYP, et c'est comme ça que nous avons été conviés à cet événement. Ce que j'ai beaucoup apprécié de Genocost, de cette journée en tout cas, parce qu'elle s'adressait à tout public. Moi j'étais ce jour-là accompagnée de mes enfants et on a abordé plusieurs sujets. On a parlé de l'histoire de la RDC, on a parlé, ils ont parlé en tout cas, les intervenants, ont parlé de la culture de la RDC, ils ont abordé les problématiques de la RDC, et entre les coupures il y a eu deux beaux spectacles. Donc il y avait des slammers, donc des jeunes Congolais qui intervenaient en tant que poètes, et surtout le spectacle des enfants. Et la phrase magique, et c'est la phrase je pense qui m'a le plus poussé à m'engager, c'est les enfants de Garvey School qui disaient Congo et Kobonga Namakasi Nabiso.
The Chinese economy grew strong in the Congo. British companies became rich in the Congo. So why do we expect being poor in the Congo? While some choose to believe in evil spirits or miracles, I choose to believe that a new Congo is possible. Congo e Kobonga, Namakasi Nabiso. Congo e Kobonga, Namakasi Nabiso. Congo e Kobonga, Namakasi Nabiso. Namakasi Nabiso. Namakasi Nabiso.
Alors, ce que je pense de cette initiative qui est la campagne Genocost, je pense que c'est l'une des meilleures idées que j'ai jamais entendues, autant plus que c'est une campagne en fait qui prône la reconnaissance du génocide du peuple congolais. Aujourd'hui, tout le monde parle de la transition écologique, tout le monde parle, tout le monde a des téléphones portables, tout le monde utilise des ordinateurs, mais très peu de gens savent d'où viennent ces matières qui fabriquent tous ces appareils. Alors tout ça, ça a un prix. La transition écologique, que ce soit tout ce qu'on nous raconte aujourd'hui sur l'écologie, ça a un prix. Et le prix, c'est le sang du peuple congolais.
CAYP decided to work on the Genocost project because it offered a genuine perspective of helping the population by the means of event remembrance and education. The history lesson highlights the horrific atrocities committed during Leopold II's reign as he exploited the country's resources and enslaved the Congolese people for his personal gain. It is our responsibility as a society not just to remember the atrocities but to ensure that the survivors are treated with the compassion, respect and dignity they deserve as they strive to rebuild their lives. The global expansion of the Genocost campaign is something CAYP UK is thankful for, even though they don't claim sole credit for it. Every current member and partner have played a significant role. Social media was also a tool that helped us raise awareness, advocate for justice, and maintain connections with our supporters. In 2024, Genocost was commemorated in more than 25 cities around the world, a proud achievement. Ultimately, we recognize that success depends on local support. However, the people must desire change and believe in the vision of a strong Congo. CAYP also believes that cultural events and performances provide valuable opportunities for commemoration, healing, and reconciliation in the aftermath of the Genocost. These various events create spaces for storytelling, artistic expressions, and symbolic rituals. By engaging in cultural events, individuals and communities can honor the victims, share their experiences and work towards healing and reconciliation as they collectively remember the past and strive for a more peaceful future.
Nous avons rebaptisé la place
Genocost.
La place
Genocost.
What we see here is two young people, newlywed. The young lady was called Yvette Nyange. The gentleman, her husband, is Roi Mwami, as we call in South Kivu, Mwami François Mubeza, the third. He was appointed chief. He was just appointed chief not long, and they were married. They were quite young. This is a love story. Yvette to me was, the way I was brought up, she's my sister. In Europe, we can call her cousin. We share a grandfather. And the roi, the chief was the chief of Kasika. 24th of August 1998, they were brutally killed. Not just both of them, but the whole village. Everyone in the compound, because he was a chief, so he lived in a compound. He was killed in front of everybody. She was mutilated, and she was heavily pregnant with twins. His whole family, their family, was killed. What we call Kiwanja. Not many people speak about them in my family because they hurt. She is my motivation. I remember spending summer with her in Kinshasa before she got married. She came to buy her wedding stuff. clothes, and I called her Yaya. She's my motivation. I think the family don't speak about it. Nobody really. We're getting there. But I would, if we go to my family, her mom, her parents' home in Belgium, her pictures, their pictures is everywhere. Nobody speaks about it. I think it's a duty to raise awareness, because there were among the hundreds of people who were killed, brutally killed, in the Kivus, in Maniema, in North, South Kivu, in the Deep South. My motivation is family members, cousins who were raped and eventually died because they contracted HIV and AIDS. And I know their names. Some I've seen. In 2004, I saw some who were living with. My motivation is still, that corner of the world is still cut off. It's a daily reality to wake up and to find men pull you, mother, husband, daughters, grandmother, in the courtyard and do what they please with them. So hence I would say I don't know what I do, why I do what I do, but that's my motivation. I want peace for Congo. I want justice for those who killed, because they are still alive. Yeah, that's my motivation. I don't think I'll ever stop talking. I'll try my best to put my emotions aside, but I will make sure that the memory is not forgotten, and that's why I'm part of Genocost campaign. The best way I know how, I'll push and keep educating the masses, be it Congolese or friends of the Congo, people who just, across the world, people who don't know where Congo is or where Shabunda is, where Kivu is. It's important.
Hello, Yapiel.
Hello.
So do you want to tell us a bit about you and what made you want to do this documentary?
Me doing the documentary. So I think it's important to have a record of all the efforts that we've been doing over the past 10 years. We realize in the history of our people, Congolese people, not many of us do rights. There are not a lot of documentaries or movies about our own stories from our own perspectives. And it's most of the time someone else has tell us what we did, but we don't have a platform where we get to say what needs to be said. So by doing this documentary, I want us to say what we feel and how we see the way things are, rather than someone else telling us what things are.
Now the vision is beyond me, it's beyond, it's beyond us. And it's good to see how it has grown over the years. Because I think initially we were only having it here in London every 2nd of August. We were gathering in London, then slowly it extended to other parts of the UK. And the last couple of years, it has only grown, and it's now the commemoration is taking place in other countries. And last year or the year before, there was a breakthrough where it's now happening in Congo as well. So yeah, it's just been very interesting journey to be on, and I just hope it will continue going that way. It will keep growing, and it's nice to see not just young people, but even the elder groups as well joining in the cause.
The space that we created has done for me is therapy. I think for a lot of us was therapy. To be able just to be amongst other people who understand where you're coming from, and we can talk about what's going on and the craziness of what's going on. Because obviously, although we live here physically, we are still connected to Congo. Some of us have got mums in Congo, grandparents that brought us up in Congo. And when we hear what's happening, not just the East Congo, but obviously the rest of the Congo in terms of the food price, in terms of security, it affects us. But we haven't got anyone to talk to, and you can't even talk to your own family members because we are all going through our own mini trauma. So having that space, the Thursday night, Skype was brilliant because we didn't have to physically be with each other, but we can have those conversations and say, right, what we do about it. And this is what CAYP used to be about before we're focusing on events. It used to be we meet up, right, what's happening? What's going right? How do we respond to this situation? Because every time there's a flare-up, as they might refer to it, basically the occupation intensifies. We would respond by doing a protest or by doing some kind of event, and it felt good because you felt like you were doing something to impact on what's happening in Congo. And we can see what's happening in Congo. It's having a big impact. You know, even having a new president is a form of our achievement. But of course, people in Congo themselves realizing that we can fight back, we can campaign, we can change, and we're not alone because we've got brothers and sisters in London and other parts of the world. Now I know Genocost is doing things in Canada.
I guess it's with CAYP and with the activism, it's quite easy because we all volunteers. So nobody's here for a paycheck. So there's an innate will to want to help. But at the same time, it's challenging because of the fact that nobody's there for a paycheck. People can leave it quite easily when they don't get what they want. And that's, you can't always, satisfy that.
But I think what's kind of kept me going is just year in, year out, just seeing the growth on a personal level, and also the members that are obviously part of the CAYP, part of the project, but then also people that have joined, that have come on board, really embracing the idea, really embracing the vision, spreading the word, getting their families involved, getting their friends involved. And yeah, I think that for me has just given me the motivation to keep going.
Congolese Action Youth Platform has stayed because I think there's that independence to lead work. How we worked, essentially. First of all, the people are very passionate. We're very understanding. We all come from different backgrounds, be it our workforce or even our education and family, of course, and tribes and languages that we speak. But the way we work, you present a project on the table and you're supported. I think that independence has always made me, to date, 10 years later, I'm still within the organization, the group of that we are, Congolese Action Youth Platform, is that I think there's a mutual respect. There's also a quick understanding of my language. My language, when I'm talking about, I'm passionate about this, would you support me?
Pour tous ceux-là qui militent, je pense, comme Lumumba l'a dit, ce Congo est grand et il demande de nous la grandeur. Il y a des gens qui ont pu réussir leur lutte. Il y a des gens qui se sont engagés et ils ont pu franchir la ligne. Et pourquoi pas nous? Ce qui est possible, ce qu'on peut le faire. Les uns pensent les impacts du changement en 10 ans, 20 ans, 15 ans. Mais moi, je pense maintenant. Je pense que si aujourd'hui, maintenant, chaque Congolais, d'ici ou d'ailleurs, peut se lever pour dire non à une injustice, et cette injustice va s'éteindre. Continuez à vous opposer à tout ce qui fait régresser le Congo aujourd'hui. Et pensons dignité, pensons nation. Si chaque militant peut essayer un seul instant de disparaître, de se dire Luc, je n'existe plus et que le Congo existe aujourd'hui, je pense qu'on aura des impacts beaucoup plus positifs et très vite si on s'y met.
The main thing now is that we don't create something like our mums and dad generation, and then as we get older, we abandon it. And we see this with Congolese businesses, African businesses, in fact, where people start something, and once the people who started, their mums and dad are no longer there, the children don't carry it on. So I'm really appealing for the next generation, the young people who are listening, who are involved in Genocost, to take it and make it theirs, because it's our history. It's our history, and it's our future as well. You don't have to be in Congo, but we're connected to Congo. We know that through the technology, we know that through the politics. I remember reading about the British government, because of our campaign, they actually froze money that was in British banks that the warlords in Eastern Congo were storing up. So you see all these killing happening in Eastern Congo, people live in refugee camps, but what we don't see is the money they make from the minerals ending up in Britain. and the British government froze. And not only that, they also stopped giving Rwanda military aid because we were saying Rwanda's involvement in Congo, and we were putting pressure on the British government. So we made this achievement, and that was in 2000, I believe it was some years, 2011, we had a mass protest, and then maybe within 2 years after that, 2012, the British government began to actually stop their involvement in the war in Congo. But of course, what happens next? We didn't keep up the pressure. We didn't keep up the pressure, and now we see what's happening, the escalation. We see Arsenal being used by Rwanda to justify, to clean up the image of Paul Kagame. In other words, those who are doing bad things to us are carrying on what they're doing, but we're kind of going back to sleep because we're busy with our everyday lives. So it's really up to the young people to take up the campaign and say, we've got this achievement, let's go beyond, because Congo is our future. You know, that money that's frozen in British banks should be invested in, you know, African communities, so young people don't have to kill each other for drugs, money, and all these kind of other things that they get up to. That's our money. That's our money, you know. So, and it's in British banks, but it's not being used to invest in our community. Thank you.
People have different motivation, and also there's life that comes in the way. That is something that I've had to understand very earlier on, you know, in this life, that in this work that we do with campaigning and activism, that the passion is not always there. The passion that you have when you first start and you discover all the anger, and so that it quickly subsides after a year or two of hard work. And that's either because you don't see the result that you were hoping for, you work really hard, long hours, and you expect that you're going to be seeing automatically a change. And then 3 months goes on and nothing changed. 6 months goes on, a year, and you're still thinking, why am I wasting my evenings doing this work when I could be, you know, spending time with family, earning money, or traveling, or doing, why am I doing this? And you have to kind of remember yourself that there is an objective that you're trying to do. There is a foundation you're trying to lay. There is a stone that you need to contribute to a greater cause. And that even if nobody sees it, that's one day someone will need to have something to build on, and that stone will be there for those people to carry on what would need to be done after you're gone. So that's kind of my approach to it.
And what's your vision? You just went grandly into that.
The vision. The vision. The vision is...
I don't know, but I know someone has to speak and raise awareness of what's happening. I'm going to get tongue-tied because it's very personal. I struggle to give meaning to why I do what I do, but I just do because I'm called to do it.
There's the short-term vision or long-term vision, right, because I can't quite put it in years, is to come to a time where Congolese people have regained ownership over the narrative of Congo. That the lion can finally tell his version of the story and not just the tale of the hunter.
What I can say is just to encourage you people. You've been doing this for the last 10 years with your own means. I know it's not easy because you've never been funded. Generally, in our communities, we always want to get funds from people, but you do your best every year in and out to make this day to happen. So keep on it, stick on it. I believe in the next 5, 10 years, 15, 20, even if you are not there, this will be recognized officially, internationally.
This documentary was filmed in 2022 as CAYP members were preparing to commemorate the 10-year anniversary of the Genocost campaign. Little did they know that the following year, on the 2nd of August 2023, the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, would mark the first official commemoration of the Genocost in the DRC by the Congolese government. This was a first step in recognizing the work of CAYP and civil society.
Winners, we are all winners. Africa needs to win more. And trust me, when I make my way back home, Whether you're from the north, south, east, west, central Africa, we need to come together, especially people in the diaspora. You know, the future is now. We need to work together now. And when I come down in your city, I'm gonna be there and just have fun all throughout. I'll be there, trust me.
Congolese born and bred, rumba and hip-hop head. We rice and pondu, I was fed. Kinshasa streets are bled. Tozakolela every day, Tozakopela every day. Still every day we pray. Tomorrow be better than yesterday. Many resources that we got, so many geniuses that we got. Bana ya Congo pe ya Africa, tango difweni boya katotere matoreka.
Baby, I'll be there. I swear I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there. Papa, I'll be there. Mama, I'll be there. Sister, I'll be there. Brother, I'll be there. Uncle, I'll be there. Auntie, I'll be there. My friends, I'll be there. Cousins, I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there. I swear I'll be there. Baby, I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there.
All my heroes dead. Lumumba, Wemba dead. Just for my daddy, tears are shed. My pen to get ahead. Tozako Bina every day. Tozako Yemba every day. Still every day we say. Pasi ya Congo esila kate, many resources that we got. So many geniuses that we got. Bana ya Congo pe ya Africa, tango difweni boya katotere matobina.
Baby, I'll be there. I swear I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there. Papa, I'll be there. Mama, I'll be there. Sister, I'll be there. Brother, I'll be there. Uncle, I'll be there. Auntie, I'll be there. My friends, I'll be there. Cousins, I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there. I swear I'll be there. Baby, I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there. Oh yes, I'll be there.
Joki sai, Joka, Joka, allez Joki sai, Joka, Joki sai, Joki sai, Joka, allez Joki sai, Joka, allez ninga 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 na, tinga 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 ma, Joki sai, Joka, Joki sai, Joka, Joki sai, Joki sai, Joka, allez Joki sai, Joka, Joki sai nyonso.
Ceux qui vivent dans nos cœurs ne meurent jamais. À nos morts, ne forget pas nos martyrs. We'll never forget about you, Kindage. Nous ne vous oublions pas. Kindage, on aime Zambie.
À jamais dans nos cœurs. Je ne vous oublie pas. Nakobosa na bino.